What is going on, guys? Digidesdan here, and it's that time of the week. Time for a pickup video. This week, again, I didn't have a whole lot to do. I shouldn't say that. I didn't have a whole lot to pick up. I didn't go hunting a lot, but I did find some stuff that I need to show you. First things first, I wanted to start off with something that I'm super excited for. It's actually something that I found on Instagram, and I was not able to get it without help. This was an item that I saw on Instagram posted by Nintendo New York, the Nintendo World Store in the Rockefeller Center, New York. And they don't have it here because it's exclusive to that store. And so my fiance has friends that work in Nintendo, and she got to talking with them, and because they're so nice, they talked to their friends in New York, and they managed to snag me one and ship it over at no cost and give it to me as a gift. For that, I'm incredibly appreciative. Thank you so much to them at Nintendo and my fiance for making this come together and get me this item. You guys probably thinking about what it is, and it actually is, oh, if you pay attention to my Instagram and my Facebook, it is a hat. So it's just a basic hat. It's got a little patch here. If you look close, it has the Mario Jumping Man silhouette, and it says where everyone comes to play. Also says Nintendo New York for the store, and established 1889. Hopefully that Nintendo New York means that there's more Nintendo stores coming around the US. But on the back, has that little Jumping Man logo. If I can get it in picture, Jumping Man logo here. And then on the inside, it has lined. It's lined with Mario faces and Mario M's. So yeah, thank you very much to my fiance and those Nintendo employees. They're extremely nice. I'll probably be wearing this around once I get those tags off. But yeah, let's move on to the next set of pickups. It is a blue Pikmin. You know, you can never have too many Pikmin. So that's pickup number one. Let's see. Maybe my little dude. That's a Rugrats reference if you guys are familiar. At this pawn shop that I went to had the DVDs extremely cheap. Everything on the shelf was like 55 cents, or like 50 cents. After tax, it was 55 cents. And this item is Ultimate Codes for use with Metroid, or Metroid Prime, I'm sorry. It's a cheat disc, essentially. It is made by Action Replay, so if you're familiar with Action Replay, it's a company that produces devices that allows you to cheat in video games, very similar to the Game Shark. This one's for Metroid Prime only, so it allows you to use all suits, all power-ups, max health, and unlock hidden game. I think it's worth around 10 to 15, maybe $20 at most. For 50 cents, I thought that it would be a decent pickup, so that's pickup number one. Next one is from Goodwill store. And if you don't check your CD sections in your thrift stores, your Value Villages, your Goodwills, your Savers, any store that you go to, you probably should, just because there is the chance that someone might put in a disc-based game, like a PlayStation game, or Dreamcast game, or Sega Saturn game, thinking it's a CD. So that's exactly what happened here, and I ended up finding Virtual Fighter Remix for Sega Saturn. So it was priced at $2.99, but the day that I got it, they were having a sale on red tags for 50% off. So I actually got this for like $1.50, I think like $1.75 after tax. I don't have a working Saturn right now, but I think this would be good for $1.50 to pick up, once I do get my Saturn working, or if I wanted to trade this or anything. Yeah, it was a good buy. I think it goes for about $20 complete. Disc is in good shape. It's got the manual and everything and the artwork. So $1.50, can't really beat it. And last set of finds were from Goodwill Outlet if you don't know what Goodwill Outlet is, it's not like your typical Goodwill. It's not a typical thrift store. What happens is people either donate directly to it, or it's the stuff that doesn't sell in the normal Goodwill store. So what they'll do is take those items, put them into a warehouse, and then they'll take those items, stick them or sort them generally, by category, and then stick them in a bin. And once that bin is filled up, they're going to wheel it out into a warehouse facility or a warehouse space where people have access to, and then you get to dig for things. Nothing's individually priced generally, and they charge by the pound. So I think like books would be like 30 cents per pound, or shoes would be $1.25 per pound. Electronics are $2 per pound, something like that. I don't know the prices off the top of my head, but every now and then they do have individually priced items. That's typically if they find like a more valuable item, they'll stick it in a showcase. They have their own separate showcase, but despite that, they typically put everything in a bin and you have to dig through it. So one day my fiance and I decided to go to Goodwill Outlet. We decided to do a little bit of digging, and we typically like to look for electronics and books, and I think we were able to find a few good things in the book section. So the first thing is a game guide, and it is Phantasy Star Online for Sega Dreamcast. If you are playing Phantasy Star Online and you need a guide, or if I'm playing, which I highly doubt actually, because I don't have the game, but I have the guide, and I'll tell you about the price later, because I did buy all this stuff, all these books, by the pound. So Phantasy Star Online guide. Next one is another guide, a little bit older, and it is Street Fighter 2 Strategy Guide by GamePro. And it's just 100% intact. It's got everything here. It's got Zangief in that muscle man pose. Bonus stages, this great portrait of Ken. Again, another great find. I don't know how much this one goes for, but however much I got it for is extremely cheap, so it was worth the money. Next book we found is this thing. So it is a subscriber copy of Nintendo Power, featuring the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So this is very cool. You don't typically find Nintendo Powers at Goodwill, or at least I don't, and even more so at Goodwill Outlet. Just especially in this good a shape. There's no tears, no real bad folds. I mean, there's a small bend here, which is not a big issue. But it's in very good shape. It's better than my copy. I'll probably replace it with this copy. And also, if you open it up, it's got this player's poll, the survey, the postcard. You can order more issues. It's even got the inside poster. So let's see if I can unfold this. And it is a bunch of stages for Life Force, which is pretty darn cool. On the reverse side, we have Mega Man 2, if you can see that. So that's very cool. This issue was from May, June 1989. So I'm really surprised that it made it to a Goodwill Outlet in 2016 in this good a shape. So yeah, those three guides / magazines were found at Goodwill Outlet. And I have one more find for you. This one I'm probably the most excited for. This next find is probably the second most exciting for this week. So this one is another book found at Goodwill Outlet, and it is a children's book for Super Mario Brothers. So it says Nintendo at the top, Super Mario Brothers, Trapped in the Perilous Pit. This was published by a Golden Look book, or Golden Books, and this was also made in 1989. If we open it up, I honestly don't know the story of this book, but if we open it up, it belonged to Shivam and Samir. So shout out to them for donating that book and allowing it to get into my hands. Hopefully you don't miss it. because I'm going to keep this forever. And it's just a children's book, you know, showing the Mario Bros and their crazy antics. You got Bowser and the Koopas. You got Mario and his mushrooms. I feel like I'm doing like one of those teacher story time things. It's very cool, you know, children's book, illustrated. It's got a small story. Of course, it ends in a happy ending. But yeah, found this at Goodwill Outlet. It was just under a stack of pile of books. You know, these bins are huge. They're ginormous, and you just dig through them. If you do have a Goodwill Outlet and you want to check it out, I highly suggest bringing gloves, maybe like a respirator or something. It gets very dusty in there. But it's a fun experience if you don't mind digging through some dirty things and finding some cool things. Cool stuff like this. So, at Goodwill Outlet, all in all, these 4 books here only cost my fiance and I $1.29. So, for $15, let's say this is $10, this is probably another $5. And this, I don't know, maybe like $5 to $10, $15 maybe. $1.29 is a steal. If you did like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Please check out my other videos, and we'll see you guys in the next